It is everyone's favorite small titty punk GF of your dreams or nightmares. Me, Inaries. I am here today to tell you about a super cool comic, one of my favorites. It is called Something is Killing the Children, and I love it. I am a really big fan of horror, dark fantasy, dark sci fi, all that kind of stuff. And Something is Killing the Children does a great job of being a nice comic in that vein. It is probably the closest Western comics have to Berserk, in my opinion. And it does a lot of things in from other dark fantasies I like. Other things like Tokyo Ghoul, Lady Devilman, Dead Space. I absolutely love the artwork in the series. It does a nice blend of saturated colors to set the mood using a lot of blues and like purples to develop a atmosphere of spooky and creepy. But it also uses a lot of like browns to give this homey feel to it, if you will. Erica has a very distinct look. She has her eyes in specific are these very bright colors. They're this like yellowish green and they glow and they're large. And the world acknowledges them as being weird, and I think that's really cool. I also like a lot of the style of the things. Erica herself is a very simple style with like a white sleeveless t-shirt, shiny pants, and boots that are wider than the pants. But she also has like the signature bandana that the hunters have, and it's such a good design. They used it as a cover, and that's what caught my eye in the first place. I don't collect normal issues, but it's released as a normal issue, a trade, and a hardback. I'm actually collecting the trades and the hardbacks because they come with different collectibles, and I do love me art. Yes, gimme, gimme. Other cool things in Something is Killing the Children, besides the really good art and the style, is the story's really good. I absolutely love the journey the story takes. I like the small town it takes it in. I like the world building where monsters are appear and only children can see them, so like adults can't. That adds a nice layer to it and like a good dark fantasy. Erica has a tool that lets her fight the monster so she can see them, but that's all that she has as a tool. I guess she technically has her octopus, but it's not a very nice octopus, her own words. So can't really trust it. But I'm not here for a synopsis, so I just will leave it at she kind of struggles. It's just a tool. The monsters are still very overwhelming in general. But I also like the way the world building of the city works. We meet the sheriff, the local, not Applebee's owner. There's a kid that she goes to help a lot, and there's lots of other little things in the story as a whole that do a great job of building the world because it's not just the lone monster hunter going and find monsters, it's the lone monster hunter entering a new town and having to interact with the people around it. And I think that's a really nice touch in the way it coincides with like Berserk as Guts travels around looking for apostles in the early Black Swordsman arc, and every time he would go to a new place, he would interact with new people. Now, he was a lot bigger of a jerk than Erica is. Erica's jaded, and like a lot of other the dark fantasy characters, wants to do the right thing, but is kind of awkward. Kaneki is really awkward and shy. June Fudo from Lady Devilman is very introverted, even though she's a model. And, like June, Erica has teammates that are terrible. Not as bad as June's teammates. June probably has the record for the worst allies she could have gotten. Like, they're just awful people. Kaneki's aren't much better from Tokyo Ghoul, but at least he has friends that care for him. This is not something that is very common in these stories. Erica, though, goes through, hunts the monster, has to figure out what the monster is, and then proceeds to hunt it while dealing with all this other stuff. And it makes for such a good story because, like I said, adults can't see it. So you can just imagine where that story goes. The opening shots are really good for the series. And like I said, the characters are developed well. We get to know a lot of the tangent stuff, like we spend time following them. One of the opening scenes is actually about we follow the kid whose caused this hunt here. He was at a slumber party and he was telling a story about a monster, and in typical preteen fashion, they didn't believe him. And boy, as a resident monster, I love when they don't believe it. It is so nice when they go in the woods, because that's when the fun can happen. Ah, good times. Precious memories. Hmm. There was something satisfying about hiding underneath people's beds and waiting for them to go to sleep before you run your tendrils and claws up into them and feel their gooey insides. But anyway, back to something is killing the children and not the satisfaction of stomping necromorphs like Isaac, into the dirt. The kids go to the woods and then it cuts scenes because it doesn't end well. And so a large chunk of the story in like the first trade, we don't know what's happening or happened, I guess is the better way, past tense. Eventually that comes to the front. And it's a really interesting because there's some twists and turns you don't expect. And like I said, the colors are really good. We get this really good scene where Erica's going into a cave and she like cracks a glow stick and the shot is mostly dark, but like this eerie greenish yellow glow from the glow stick is what illuminates the thing, kind of matching her eyes and reflecting off of the white teeth of her mask, so she looks like the monster hunting. Well, she is the monster hunting the monsters, but it is such a good shot. And there's a lot of really cool things in this. Other things I really like is Erica's kind of sassy, I guess is a good word for it. But like I don't really, I like people, but I don't really want to socialize with people kind of sassy. So when she goes to the Not Applebee's, we get a great moment where she's talking about why she likes to go to Not Applebee's. And she slaps a map on the table dramatically with the claim that they're all going to go out of business and they have tables for maps, and that really stuck with me. Like I said, I really like the art style of it. Some of the style, I said I really liked the art style of the series, and at times the art style gives vibes of a hybrid from like the old Y2K goth style post Tim Burton, with like your Invader Zims, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, your panty and stocky and garter belt, the Max. A lot of stuff from that era is kind of visually at times what Something is Killing the Children reminds me of, but mixed back into like a more standard comic style. The monsters have a very simple color palette, but they look very abstractish, and I think that really does a good job of amping them up as otherworldly, which is what they are. And I think that's something really cool that the series does. I love Something is Killing the Children, and I want more people to get into reading it too, which is why I'm doing all of this. There's a lot of things I would like to talk about, but I absolutely want to talk more about Something is Killing the Children. It's got great poses, it's got great stories, there's a great suspense, the characters are developed well, I want to know more of the world building, and I just want it to get more recognition. Like I said, it was done by Boom, and so you can get it in paper, trade, or hardback books. There are multiple ways to get your hands on this fantastic series. I really want people to get around to reading Something is Killing the Children. And if you don't, I will show up in your closets. And I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know, attack your teddy bears or something. They can't defend you. The teddy bears can't stop my reign of terror. So just know, if you don't read Something is Killing the Children, me and your teddy bears, we're gonna fight. Go read the series, go find it. And now, Mods, if you would be so kind as to roll the credits. Mods? Mods, I didn't say you were on break. Mods, get over here, Mods. Oh my goodness. Roll those credits. Roll those credits. Oh, I will definitely fight you. Hold that thought. Mods, we're coming into this. Mods, get, it's on like Donkey Kong. My mods are jerks.